Okay guys, so welcome to another video. Here I'm going to show you up my entry, right? Like why I took the entry, what was my thought process, and all those things. I made mistakes as well. I'll show you those mistakes as well, and I'll point out my mistakes and I'll tell you guys what I did all the things wrong and what could have been avoided, right? So basically, I was that was around here, I would say, before these things happened. So I was actually talking to Jaya Sanka on Telegram, and we were discussing about what could happen with the pullbacks. So I recorded a quick 3 minute Loom video and sent it to him, where I was actually breaking down my idea of selling from these points. Why selling from these points now. So I'll put attach the link of that Loom video as well along with this one. Now let me show you why sells, right? So basically we were just pushing down from the time the candle has been open, right? There was not any significant pullbacks. So what I was expecting actually was the pullbacks, because these areas, you see this line and there's written W, so this means that was a weekly zone for me, which I have marked upon the weekly time frame. So let's call it there. See these rejections on the weekly time frame, see these rejections on the daily time frame on the left, and this was the line which I marked, right? So I knew that I'm trading in an area of heavy rejections of the daily time frame as well as the weekly time frames, right? So and we have continued pushing up down throughout the Asian session, and the Asian session moved the market really well. So it was quite obvious and logical to think that we will get pullbacks, somewhat nice pullbacks for the London session. Now I got two choices for myself: to trade the pullback or trade the continuation after the pullback ends, right? Second one seemed to be easy for me, and to be honest, I was looking for buys as well, but I was not that successful taking up the buys, right? So let me break down my sales idea. Why was the sales idea being here? So sell idea was basically just because of these point. These, if you notice, this was the 4h 4h high of the candle, right? 4h high of the candle, and this made a wick, and then price just pushing down and down and down, right? So my idea was that price can easily retest these zones and continue going down to retest these 4h lows, right? 4h lows, or these lows here, or maybe these key levels, right? So that was my idea. But for that, I wanted what I wanted to see was price action in these particular areas, right? These particular areas were important for me to look for what price action prints in front of me and take decisions accordingly, right? So one thing is that buys above this thing till 1920 could work out, and I knew that, and I tried entering them, and I didn't get opportunity. This thing happened, I didn't get any opportunity to get in. I could have got in on the break of these things, but I didn't want to take that risk, right? And now after this thing happened, uh, this was nice, and price ejected up these levels, right? Now next thing, okay, cool, the price came down for pullback, right? So this candle, this is on the 5 minute time frame. Right now we are on the 5 minute time frame. These candle, you see these candles, this candle was a London open candle, and I was expecting pullbacks, right? A little big pullback to downwards, and then see the continuation to the upside if we are heading up. So planning buys in these areas was a nice one, and what I did plan was for rejections from these 1915 key level, or fake out from 1915 key levels, and we can continue up, moving up from those particular point to 1920s, right? So we got some rejections, or found support from there, and we saw this bullish candle, right? So I entered actually very late into buys after this candle went above somewhere here with the spreads and all those things, so basically I should have not been in this trade, because we are seeing this key level, price is rejecting the key level, price hasn't closed above key level. So that doesn't made any sense for me to get into price. Better would have been if I would have waited for price to close above the key level, right? But anyways, I entered somewhere here, and managed the position, and got out in minor loss, right? Now what do we see? We see these rejections from these particular point, right? We see these rejection from these key levels, and the candle closing back in the range which is 1920, 1915, and this bearish candle, strong bearish candle, giving me signs of taking sells, right? Now for me sales, I was prepared to take the sales from these particular point of time. Why? Because I planned already for taking sales from these particular point as prices approaches these areas and these key levels, and now prices rejecting these areas and closing bearish in these areas, right? Now next thing I want to see is the pullback for the 5 minute candle. I want to see pullback at least to the 50% of the candle, maybe somewhere here. And this is the most we can get the pullback, I would say, is this key level right here, right? So I was having this 50% level marked somewhere up or there, here or this, it could be a little bit up and down. So it just went up. Now what do we see? This is a bullish candle, right? Now if we break these lows, we can move down, right? And obviously that didn't happen. You see this, uh, let me zoom in a little, and you see these lows were respected, these lows were a little high up, right? So price just came out bullish, and this time it was nice closure, but it was kind of resisting to go above this key level because of this rejection, but it closed little bit above this 1920 key level. So my idea was to take buys if it could have been a better close, but I was aware about the fact that high time frames are all bearish. We might get some fake out from these particular areas, and what do we see? We got fake out. Price never ever tried to push above. There's not even a wick on this candle. This is the new 30-minute candle opening, and now once I saw this thing happening, next candle breaking the lows, I took the cells right there, right this. Okay, so I took the cells there. Stop loss was uh, these areas, to be honest. But if price would have flipped, I would have managed it. Once price drove down, my stop loss became this. Price drove down, and now these were the 30-minute lows, right? Now price broke the 30-minute lows, right? My TP was somewhere around 1913. As I told you guys that I wanted it to retest these lows of the 4H, right? 1930s was my TP. But what do we see? We see price rejecting from this key level, respecting this key level. We see a range on this time frame. So it would have been better if I would have closed my entry, but instead of that I made my trade break even and let it run, because I was expecting it to be little bit bearish, right, to these areas to retest the lows. But obviously that thing didn't happen, and with this close, this candle close, I was sure that I was going to be out at B, and next candle I was out at break even, right? Now so you see this, they're managing the positions is really well, and this was such a nice point to take buys. A lot of people in group took these buys as well. Congrats to them. I guess Eugene took it, and there's a guy named Hassan who took it in the group, and target these areas again, once again 1920s, right? Now if price again rejecting these key levels, $1 above the key level, we going downtown again to these 1915 areas, right? And we are still ranging between 1920s and 1915. So if you look at the 30-minute time frame, this is ugly range. You should not try to trade in this particular range, because easily you can get caught up in this range, and maybe wait for this 4H candle to give you some clues on how it's closing and what will we get for the day, right? I guess trading NY session could be a little bit more easier for us to do now. And now if you not caught anything in London, there's no need to force any trades, or if you caught something in London, then it's absolutely nice. So I'm gonna stop the recording. This was the breakdown of the quick sales I took and the mistakes which I did. So see you guys in the New York session, and wish you guys an absolutely profitable trading day.